I'll probably end up going completely off my head if I don't share this with another person somehow. I don't know what to do with myself or my situation. I'm not at all ashamed to say that I'm actually terrified. I'm beyond terrified. It all started yesterday. Everything was just fine until I came home last night and found my wife Carol standing in the living room facing the television, which was off. She had her back to me, but I could see she was holding the remote in her left hand. She was just standing there, not moving, presumably staring at the blank screen. "Hey, honey," I said to her, closing the door after coming in. She didn't reply or even move an inch to acknowledge my presence. "Carol?" I asked, a little concerned now. I put my bag down and walked over and around to face her. And once I leapt back in fright, crashing into a table behind me and knocking the telephone and a lamp to the floor. Carol's face was warped into the strangest expression I'd ever seen. Her mouth was open wide, unnaturally wide, to the point where her jaw should have been unhinged. A steady stream of drool leaked out of it slowly. Her eyes were bulging right out of the sockets and staring ahead in a horrific empty stare. The sight filled me with unspeakable horror. It was my wife, but right now, she had me terrified to my very soul. I eventually gathered my wits and shouted her name loudly. This actually worked, and she seemed to actually be a bit frightened herself at the sudden noise. Her face returned to normal in the blink of an eye. "Harry?" she said, looking at me with a bit of a dim look on her face. "Yes, honey, it's me. Are you okay?" I asked her. She seemed to take some time to process this question. "I'm fine, I'm just tired. I think I'll go to bed," she replied. Without another word, she turned away and went to the stairs and up to the bedroom. She still had the remote for the TV in her hand. I was deeply disturbed by her whole manner. She spoke in a flat and empty tone, almost robotic, and moved in the same way. I sat on the sofa for a while to calm down and clear my head. She must not have been feeling well, that's all. I would check on her again when I went up to bed, but I needed to eat and shower first. Another oddity I noticed was that the kitchen was untouched. Carol always made dinner and left it in the warmer for when I came home. But there was nothing. I'm not the sort of guy to make a big deal about something like that. I was more concerned at how unlike her it was. I made a few quick sandwiches and had those, went to shower and then got into bed. Carol was there, fast asleep. I decided not to wake her and got into bed, kissed the back of her head gently and drifted off myself. Sometime during the night, I became aware of being awake and a strange wet sensation on my face. It took me a few seconds to realise, with utter horror, that there was a face just a few inches above my own in the dark. It was Carol, leaning over me on all fours, her face inches from mine. Even in the darkness, I could see that horrifying stretched mouth and bulging white eyes. This time, I could hear a faint gurgling sound somewhere deep in her throat. I screamed and pushed her off me, grabbing the blanket and wiping her drool off of my face. I fumbled for the light switch and flicked it on and looked at Carol, my heart hammering and struggling to catch my breath after my fright. She sat there, staring at me. "Harry?" she said faintly. I trembled and struggled to gather myself and answer her. Yes, honey? Is something wrong? Do you feel okay?" I managed. She looked at me for a long time. It seemed like an hour, but was probably barely a minute. I'm fine. I'm just tired. I think I'll go to bed, she replied. And with that, she turned over on her side and went back to sleep. I left the room immediately and went down to the living room, still trembling. I sat on the sofa and took a few breaths, trying to think. She had said the exact same words, in the exact same dead and empty manner. And that face, dear Lord. I couldn't think of what to do. It was just past midnight, but I decided to call my dad. He picked up after a few rings and answered in a sleepy voice. Hello? Hey Dad, it's me. I'm sorry for calling so late, I said. It's alright, son. Is something wrong? No. Well, yes. It's Carol, Dad. I think she's sick or something. She's been acting really strange and it's scaring me a bit. A lot. It's scaring me a lot, I said. There was a long silence on his end. I almost asked if he was still there when he spoke. Son, we've been through this already. I know it's hard. I know what it did to you when you lost Carol. Accidents happen, and while the results can be truly horrible, you need to take the time to heal and move on. Do you remember Dr. Webster saying that it might play with your mind? And you need to be strong and focus on moving on. I remember that. You need to talk to us, son. You haven't called me for quite a while until now. I won't know if you're okay if you don't talk to me or Dr. Webster. We're here for you, son. We want to help, he finished. His words fell onto me like a pile of bricks from 2 stories up. My heart actually seized for a few moments as I processed what he was saying. Everything was coming back and flickering through my mind like a horrible slideshow. The phone call, rushing home from work terrified, finding the flashing lights at the scene just a block away from home. I remember screaming voicelessly when I saw her lying there, broken in the middle of the road. How I threw myself on her and sobbed. I didn't even get to say goodbye, and she was already gone. I hung up the call and stared at the wall in front of me for a while. I don't even know what I felt. Ashamed at blocking it all out. Angry at myself for freaking myself out like this. It had seemed so real. If it was a trick of the mind, it was a damn powerful one. I went back to the room and found what I now expected to find. Nothing. I sighed and sat on the edge of the bed with my head in my hands. What was wrong with me? I decided to just go back to bed. I eventually drifted off again. At 3:03 AM, I was scared out of my wits again and had shut myself away in the bathroom, trying not to die of hyperventilation. I had managed to make a call to 911 and hoarsely tell them I needed help. I'd had another eerie moment of slowly becoming awake and realizing that I could sense I wasn't alone in the room. I'm not crazy, god damn it. After the police came and went and found nothing, I was too terrified to stay at home and decided to go to a motel for the night. This time, I'm not losing my mind. Someone was in bed next to me. I could hear them breathing, and that gurgling sound. That goddamn gurgling sound. Hey guys, and thank you once again for listening to the latest in my CreepyPasta series. Now, I do apologise if my voice does go slightly throughout this. I have had a cough for about a week now. No need to worry, I don't think I've got the horrible virus that's going around. I think it's just a cough and a cold, but my voice is taking quite a beating. Anyway, this is another story from Thousand Thorns, and I really enjoyed this one. It's got such a good twist at the end, just like his other story, and it's just brilliant. So if you like this story and the last one, or you haven't seen the last one, please go check that out, and go check out his stuff on Reddit. There's quite a lot. I'll leave a link to his Reddit in the description down below. Part 3 of My Job is Watching a Woman Trapped in a Room will be out on Friday. So to all those that have been waiting for that, sorry it's been a few days. I'm just trying to work out how to do this new schedule. So again, sorry for those that have been waiting for part 3. I've not actually done it yet, but it will be done this Friday. So I'm not going to ramble like I did in the last one, so thanks again for watching. Links to everything will be down in the description, and don't forget to check out the Discord link in there as well. We're building a nice little community and we're all talking, so come check it out. Anyways, thank you and take care.